Good day. This is a video on the feasibility study of different options available to an apartment owner. The three options available to the apartment owner include option 1, long-term rental on a yearly basis to a constant tenant, option 2, a short-term rental via Airbnb, and option 3, the sale of the property and the investment of the income into a fund. For the yearly rental option, the assumption was made that the apartment will be rented out to a single tenant over the 5-year period. To calculate the escalation in the rental income amounts, I used the slope of the historic data and increased the rental amounts by that slope. The rental income shown here is then the yearly amounts of rental income. The operating expenses were calculated as a percentage of the rental income. The sale of the property at the end of the 5-year period was also calculated using an escalation as calculated from the historical data. And this gives the total income amount. The levies were calculated with inflation, and the rates and taxes were calculated using a cent amount supplied by the municipality, and the agent rates were calculated as a percentage of the income, and the commission is on the total sales at the end of the period. This gives the total expenses over the 5-year period. The outflow of the cash at the beginning of the period, period 0, is the money that came from the refinancing of the mortgage to fix the plumbing, the painting, and the replacing of the stove. This gives an increase in the current mortgage. The revenues and expenses as calculated in the before mentioned way gives you the operating income, which is used to calculate the taxable income after calculating the interest paid on the loan to calculate the tax paid, which is a 41% of the taxable income. This is then used to calculate the after-tax cash flow and the net present value using the after-tax MAR as 15% calculated from a before-tax MAR of 25%. For the short-term rental option, it was decided to only use Airbnb as it has no costs to the host and the service cost is only charged to the tenant. The rental income was calculated using the online calculator provided by Airbnb, and this stated that there was a 50% occupancy of such rentals, and therefore that amount was escalated by inflation and multiplied by 6. The sales income was calculated as before mentioned using an escalation of the current sales price, which gives the sales income at the end of the period. The rates and taxes and levies were also calculated as in the previous option, and the maintenance was also a percentage of the total, or of the rental income, excuse me. The cleaning was I used the minimum wage, and this gives the total expenses. The cash outflow at the start of this project is for the painting, the replacement of the stove, as well as the furnishings, and this was also financed using an increase on the mortgage or refinancing the mortgage, and this gives the increased mortgage amount. The revenues and expenses are used to calculate the operating income, of which the interest rate is deducted to find the taxable income. The tax is then calculated using the tax bracket in which the person falls, and this is all used to calculate the after-tax cash flow and the net present value of the entire this option. For the third option, the selling of the property and investing the funds, the following was done. The selling price was given and the taxable amount on the sale was calculated. This, along with the commission, the improvements and the loan was deducted from the selling price to achieve the total investment price. This total amount was invested in the Global Emerging Market Fund with Old Mutual, which gives an interest rate of 7.71, which gives a substantial future value of the investment. The tax was deducted from this from the capital gains, which gives an after-tax cash flow and the net present value as presented below. After comparing the net present values of the three options, it can clearly be seen that option 3 is the most beneficial as it has the highest net present value of the three options. Therefore, the apartment should be sold and the funds should be invested in the appropriate funds.